The Timmy Chang Show is brought to you by Hawaiian Financial Federal Credit Union, HGEA, Spectrum, HCAMP, Enjoy Snacks, Fujitsu, IBEW Local 1186, Hawaii Dental Service, Ruby Tuesday, Hawaii Pacific Health, Popeyes, Castle Resorts and Hotels, and Hawaii USA Federal Credit Union.
All right, welcome to the Timmy Chang Show, coming to you from the Stan Sheriff Center Arena. And, Coach, I want to start off this show by giving you a very big happy birthday shout-out. Timmy Chang, October 9th. Happy birthday, my brother.
Appreciate you, my brother.
And it's so good because I know that you've been working all day, but Rob DeMello has something special for us from this morning's practice.
Hooray! Happy birthday, Coach Chang.
It doesn't get better than this, I spend my birthdays with my family and really with my football family and here working, whether you're on a practice day or a game day or a day before the game or after the game. I mean, it is what it is, right? But no place I'd rather be here in home and representing the school and the community and the people that I love and my family, and being here celebrating my 43rd birthday.
And this job, obviously, there comes a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but when you take a step back and the perspective is you're celebrating your birthday out here, I mean, it's a reminder of this is everything you've ever wanted, right?
For sure. There's so many positives about the working and being here and coaching football. The worst thing about it is losing, and it takes a lot to win, and it takes every little detail and everything to go right your way. So I love my job, and I love coaching the guys here. I love the relationship part of it. I love the coaching staff. I love being able to be with our old trainers, our old equipment guys, our strength and conditioning family, especially the players. And so they're all our extended family. And I'm pretty simple. I work and then I go home and I be a family man. And so very special for me and very special for my family.
Thank you.
And I see practice ends, the guys walk out through the tunnel, there's cupcakes waiting for them. That's not like a test, right? Like you want them to take some cupcakes, right?
Oh, of course. And it's not even it's my boss. My boss is my wife, and so if she buys cupcakes for the guys and wants them to have some, it's just a blessing. It really is. They're our family. These boys, long way from home. Some of them are a night family from the islands, but we're all family, and they get to celebrate. And it's also Jalen Smith's birthday, and so happy for him. But what a great day.
Awesome, brother.
A little bit of sweat. One bite.
Jalen Smith's birthday as well. Okay, so I have this app. So we spared you a cupcake. It's a candle. All you have to do is blow on the phone.
Oh, nice.
Blow real hard. Ready? Blow. Make a wish.
Yep, make a wish.
Okay, go ahead. It didn't go. Try again. There he goes. There it goes. It worked. Yeah. Happy birthday, brother.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, now I know you'd love to be celebrating a win on your birthday. But you can get a win this week, and it'll make it nice and pretty. But let's go. Let's get a quick recap again from Rob DeMello of what happened this past weekend against San Diego State.
Hey, thanks a lot, Johnny. The University of Hawaii football team returned home with an all-too-familiar feeling after another heartbreaking effort, where despite a fight to the very finish, the Rainbow Warriors opened Mountain West play with a 27-24 loss at San Diego State. Now, this one went back and forth in the second half, where despite 10 tackles for loss by the defense and a courageous effort by quarterback Braden Shager, who had 3 touchdown passes but took 5 sacks, the Bows couldn't sustain a 4-point lead in the final 10 minutes of the fourth quarter, as the Aztecs rallied late, handing Hawaii its 12th loss in their last 13 games away from the islands, falling to 2-3 on the season, 0-1 in conference.
I was proud of the way we fought the whole game, but like I said, there's no moral victories. It's just I'm tired of, go get them next week. I think everybody is. So it's very frustrating to continue to lose, and we just gotta push through.
Man, just one play away. When one play away, this team has got something to prove, man. I mean, this hurts, but man, at the end of the day. Man, we still give glory to God, man. We're still gonna come back and we're gonna fight this. We're not gonna pout. We're not gonna keep our heads down. We're gonna lift our heads up. We're gonna get back to work.
Now, eerily similar to a 3-point loss to UCLA earlier this season, just not able to seal the deal, and it doesn't get any easier. Up next, it's 17th ranked Boise State. That's Saturday at 5 p.m. in Manoa. As always, game week started with Hawaii football final every Monday morning at KHON2.com or anywhere you download podcasts. Reporting for the Timmy Chang Show, I'm Rob DeMello, KHON2 Sports.
All right, thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. When you look back and we'll get into Boise State in just a minute. We also have got a couple special guests, Nick Cenacle and Coach Jordan Pu'u-Robinson will be joining us. But Coach, let's just your thoughts on San Diego State real quick.
Yeah, heartbreaker. I thought the guys prepared well going into a bye week, coming off a bye week, and then going up to San Diego. Their mindset was right. Cleaned up a lot of things. Had a real positive game against Northern Iowa the week before. It really comes down to making plays, and for us coaches to coach guys to get into position to make the plays, and we're talking about we're a play away. And so you feel for them, but you know what? We're back against the walls. We got to go. We got to make things happen. We got to go out there and execute and do what we need to do to win.
When you look at the tape, now that you've gotten a chance to look at the tape, it really is just a handful of things that could have been changed that would have been different for the outcome.
Yeah, 100%. You can pick them up on offense. You pick them up on defense. You pick them up on special teams. We can play better in a lot of different areas, in a lot of different situations, playing with leverage, playing with better hands, running, tackling, blocking, catching, throwing. You name it, we can get better at it, and we need to get better at it.
Let me ask you this. Play calling. What about because you're fairly new at calling an offense as the head coach. I mean, you've been doing it a couple years now, but just your thoughts on the way maybe you even graded out as a signal caller.
Yeah, hard to grade myself, but there's always room to improve, and I'm always looking for ways to improve to put our team in a better situation. When you lose, you're always gonna nitpick every single thing, and so I'm nitpicking away at the things that I can get better at and need to get better at. And play calling happens to be my job. A head coach happens to be my job, and so I need to get better at those.
Okay, real quick, got something for you. This is a random question. If you could meet anyone in the world, who would it be?
I got a couple. Tiger Woods be one. Michael Jordan.
Ooh.
Big fans of those guys. Big basketball fan.
All right. Awesome stuff. Okay, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, my brother broadcast partner, Mark Veneri, is going to join us. We're going to talk Boise State, 17th ranked team in the country, is coming to town right here at the Clarence T.C. Ching Complex. For now, though, for Timmy, we're going to take a quick break. I'm John Veneri. We'll be back with the Timmy Chang Show.
This is the Timmy Chang Show, presented by ESPN Honolulu, K-High, and KHON2.
Welcome back to the Timmy Chang Show, and if you've got questions for the coach, you can go ahead and text those in at 808-296-1420. And don't forget that the TV broadcast of this show will be available on K-High Thursday night at 6 p.m. and then again on Friday on KHON at 8 p.m. This week, the Bows are faced with a pretty lofty task with the 17th ranked team in the country coming to town. Boise State is 4-1. They come to town with the leading candidate for the Heisman Trophy this season in Ashton Jeanty. For this discussion, I bring in my broadcast partner and my brother, the brother broadcasters, Mark Veneri, and of course, again with Coach Timmy Chang. Coach, Ashton Jeanty is a beast.
Yeah, pretty special player. We got to watch him now for as many games as they played. Just a really good running back. Putting up really good numbers. And when you watch them in the scheme of what they do, the offense is built around that offensive line and him. And so, he's a special player, and it'll be a special game.
Coach, Boise State leads the nation in scoring offense at 50.6 and is the Mountain West leader in total offense at 537.6 yards per game, while UH leads the Mountain West in scoring defense at 19 points per game and total defense at 309 yards. I guess you could say with this rush game, you faced a good running back at San Diego State. With JT coming into town, it kind of works in your favor in terms of strength, where your strength lies with your defense.
It's one of those things where as we watch him on film and we watch Boise on film on offense, they're just really good overall. And so you try to take away the run game, and then here they go countering back, going the other way. And then when you try to take and put enough guys in the box, whether he breaks the tackle and runs for a lot of yards after contact, which he has a lot of, then they'll go and throw the ball. And so they'll play action and they'll throw the ball, and then they'll work their screen game. And so it's going to be a handful to stop their offense. But, no better place to do it in Manoa in front of our fans.
Yeah, you get him at home, so that's a great thing. He's got like 10 yards a carry. So he's definitely a guy that's to be reckoned with. And they only lost to Oregon by 3 points. So this is a pretty good football team. They know how to put it together.
Sure, they are, and they gave Oregon a run for their money, and they're really good on film, and so they're as advertised and the top in the conference.
They haven't had a lot of losing seasons over the course. I mean, we used to play them when they were in the FCS 30 years ago, but since then they've won a lot of football games and haven't had that many losing seasons. What do you think it is about Boise State? Because they got a blue field that ain't all that pretty.
Yeah, I think it's just the consistency. I think they've done a really good job, from building their program up from an FCS program to we saw them in the WAC conference as an FBS program and had a lot of competitive battles with them, and then moving into the Mountain West, they've gotten a lot of support from that community, from their state of Idaho, and they've poured in a lot into that program, and so you can see the fruits of that labor kind of coming forward, and so they've done a really good job, and then they coach the tails off, they get good players, and they continue to just every year in year out do well, and so really happy for them, and excited to play them.
Now, for the defensive side, Coach, obviously you've been watching a lot of film about defense, finding out what Boise State does well. We can talk about their offense all we want, but defensively, what concerns you? What are the things, obviously, you could maybe exploit or look at that this offense can really get after? Yeah,
they play with a four defensive man front that pressures a lot. They get after the quarterback with their guys. Two really good D tackles that can stop the run. I think you see them penetrating here on this clip. And then they play with a 6 DB defense where they're flying around, they're covering guys, they're getting in and out of man coverage, playing zone coverage behind it. They're really just trying to get the ball back to their offense, which is a high point of their team. And not only that, they're good on special teams. They're a well-coached team, and they bring a lot of firepower in all three phases.
You guys played very well against Cooper. He only had, while he had over 100 yards per carry for the Aztecs, he did only average 3.6 yards per carry. He got the ball a bunch of times. So, and then if you look back a couple of games prior to that, you did well against the run in a number of the different games you guys played, even in losses. I think that's something that can be boding well for you guys.
And even adding to John as well, actually statistically holding them under 100 yards rushing for the game as well against San Diego.
Yeah, stopping the run is a priority for our defense and us. And so, we want to make sure that we can play at the point of contact, dominate the line of scrimmage, and then tackle the ball carrier when he gets out. And so, our defense is doing a really, really good job of just kind of getting to the backfield, shedding blocks, making sure they're holding their gap integrity at times, and then putting enough guys, in the box to stop and tackle the ball carrier.
Here's some good news. The Rainbow Warriors ranked 28th in the nation in total defense, limiting opponents to an average of 309.4 yards per game. They also ranked 32nd in scoring defense, allowing an average of just 19 points per game. Meanwhile, Boise State has not scored less than 34 in a game this season, so it's kind of like Goliath versus Goliath when it's their offense against our defense, sort of.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. I know our defense and our team is really pumped up to play this Boise State team. We talked about them in the offseason as them being the standard. There's a time last year where they were right around the middle of the pack maybe, and they took an unfortunate situation, and Coach Danielson made it to an extreme positive in winning their last 2 games and taking them to the conference championship and winning the conference championship. Yeah. And then playing a UCLA team that we got to watch on film in the bowl game in LA. And so they've been on a roll ever since, and they hold a high regard for their program and their standard. And that's what I think we're most excited about, is just that now we get to go play them and match up and see where we lie in this conference.
Yeah,
this is a biased thing, by the way, too, for me. Braden Shager, the last time he played a ranked opponent, Fresno State, and a win in relief duty of Chevin Cordero.
Yeah.
How has his mindset been heading into this week?
And on top of that, just what you've seen from him, because there has been some growth from the Northern Iowa game where it seemed like everything clicked to somewhat of more of a leadership role. It seems like he's fallen into that really well. I know he's a senior, but he's just taken the reins a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's what we need him to do. We go as he goes, and he needs a cast to support him. With the offensive line, receivers and running back. But he has done a great job, especially in these last couple games, just kind of taking over.
How about that play?
Yeah, we're talking about a takeover. I mean, there's some plays right here where guys are trying to get open. As you can see, the sand's coming up on this field right here. But he's trying to take over the game, and if guys are recovered or guys weren't getting open, he just took over his legs and made some plays and some really key plays. But that's what he adds. When he's healthy, I think I just got asked by Steve Tsai about the amount of games he's played in a row is a record now. He's just a tough kid, and all the credit to him because he's a big arm. He's smart. He wants to do well, and now he's using his legs as a weapon. And so when he can do that, we can be tough to beat.
And he doesn't like losing, which is also nice. He doesn't accept anything less than the best from himself and the guys around him. So I think that is a fabulous trait in a leader that you need in a quarterback.
Yeah, it's when your quarterback and the leaders on your team kind of bind together and make sure there's a standard that we hold, and we need to win, and that's the bottom line.
If you got a question for Coach, you can go ahead and dial it in. 808-296-1420 is the number to text or call in, and Coach will be more than happy to answer your questions a little bit later on in the show. We've got a couple through here already on the text board, but I'll get to it in segment 5, because coming up next, my brother Mark is going to be talking to a coach, and I just want to know real quick from you before we go to break, your thoughts on Jordan Pu'u-Robinson.
Oh, what a great coach. He's a great young coach. I see a lot of great qualities in him, and the main quality you see in great coaches is that they care. They care about their players. And so when a coach goes above and beyond to make sure that they're fed, they're taken care of. When they're injured, he's making sure that they got the proper need. He's sacrificing his own time, his money into the efforts of his guys.
it says a lot. And then when you walk by his office, guys are always around.
He's in the hot seat next, right here on the Timmy Chang Show.
This is the Timmy Chang Show, presented by ESPN Honolulu, K-High, and KHON2.
Welcome back to the Timmy Chang Show. We welcome a defensive ends coach, Jordan Pu'u-Robinson. Let's take a look at his tale of the tape. Perfect. Absolutely love it. Coach Pu'u-Robinson, he coached at Mercer before joining the staff at UH. Took off Citadel for just a spring before coming back to Hawaii as a full-time assistant under Timmy Chang. The Maui boy played at Washington State before transferring home in 2012 and played on both sides of the ball as a tight end and DN. We now welcome my man right here, Jordan Pu'u-Robinson. We always have great conversations on the field, and if there's any guy that's always locked in, it's you, Coach, but welcome into the show.
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, appreciate it, Coach. What got you back home? I mean, first and foremost, you went through kind of a phase. You said you were truck driving. You were kind of in that phase of life where you're like, hey, what do I got to do next? But football kind of brought you back into the game and now got you back in coaching.
Yeah, exactly. In 2020, I was a truck driver delivering linens, had my CDL, and that was my job. But I knew I always wanted to come back and coach football. I really miss the camaraderie of the sport, the team aspect, and all those things. And my good friend who was at the time a coach in Oregon, he said, if you want to do this, you got to jump in, all the way in. So I went on Football Scoop, and I saw a volunteer job available at Mercer University, a school never heard of, in Macon, Georgia, a place I never heard of. And I took it, and now I'm back home, so it's been a blessing.
And now for you, you played at the University or Washington State University, played at the University of Hawaii, played both sides of the ball. What did it mean to you to come back home and coach at this university?
It was everything. To be honest, this is my dream job, and I love being here. Obviously, I coach because I love my players, and I love the guys I work with, everybody on the staff, and representing that Green H and the Hawaiian Islands is very special to me, and it's something I take very seriously.
Now, when you decided to have this, I guess this call, when you went to the Citadel, you went to Mercer, and you had this calling to come back home to coach for the university, and Coach Chang said, hey, Jordan, I need you back home. What was going through your mind when you got that call?
Yeah, well, it all came quick. I'd just been in South Carolina at the Citadel for 3 months total. Me and my fiance at the time just moved there, just signed a new lease. I was ready for my first time full-time position job, and he gives me a call, and I saw Timmy Chang pop up on the phone. I'm like, oh, something's up. He says, all right, Pu'u, you ready? I said, what's up, Coach? He said, I need you back. I said, Coach, I'm there, and the rest is history.
Has this always kind of been, as you mentioned, your dream job, specifically that the University of Hawaii, that green H and top of trim that you mentioned, has that always kind of been the calling, so to say?
Yes, and I always have a lot of, I guess, thoughts about how I wish things went differently as a player here. You know what I mean? So I think coming back as a coach now, I'm going to give it my all to my kids, right, and kind of my redemption on how my things went as a player here.
Well, you heard earlier when Coach and I, and as well as John, were talking about the defense. Now, this defense has been playing phenomenal football. Been on the field quite a bit, but has been playing phenomenal football. And part of it is the DNs. You know, Jackie Johnson, you know, Wyndon Ho'ohuli, Robinson, Elijah Robinson. And this is all a credit to what you've been doing with this defensive end staff.
Yeah, thank you. But, you know, the credit goes to them. They are all very, very tough, hardworking kids. They're eager to learn, and they're very serious about their development. You know, all these guys who played this year were on the team last year. And we obviously lost 2 starters with Jonah Welch and Andrew Choi. So it was the exact same room, but these guys have developed, and they're getting better. And as they gain experience, you know, they're becoming very good players. I'm just so blessed to coach them.
What's been the biggest difference from last year to this year with this group of guys?
I would say ultimately the development, just them getting better, right? The repetition, getting a lot of game snaps and game experience. And then obviously, you know, Coach Thurman's defense, he wants a certain style from his edges. He wants them getting off the ball and attacking, and I think it fits the strong suits of the players I have right now.
And speaking of Coach Thurman, what a blessing for a guy like yourself, learning from one of the top, you know, defensive coordinators in the country, football minds. You know, we both get I get a chance to talk to him when we're on the road. He's a phenomenal coach, but what's it been like learning from him on the defensive side of the ball?
You know, it's been awesome, especially with the kind of professional mindset, you know what I mean? And that's all about getting your best players in situations to make plays. And that's something that's very fun to coach in, and he likes to dictate and be aggressive. And I think all defensive players like that style of play.
Has he got your guys' juices going, so to say?
Yes, he does. You know, he's a pretty composed guy, to be honest. He's on the sideline, he's composed. In meetings, he's composed. So I think he's a vet, you know, and he's seen it all, so nothing really phases him.
You know, for you, you know, we mentioned some of the guys like Jackie Johnson, Elijah Robinson. What do you attribute to their success? I mean, not only just being in the film room, as you mentioned, working harder, but that relentless desire. Playing Elijah Robinson this past weekend played a phenomenal football game. Wyndon Ho'ohuli, who was also hampered by some injuries, but coming back from that and then, you know, applying it to the field must be a great thing for you as a coach.
Yes, it is. And I'll start with Elijah. You know, he had a monster game. You know, I think 11 tackles, 3 TFLs for a guy who was playing primarily 4-eye and 5 technique. Those are, you know, pretty lofty numbers. But he has really taken so many strides since he's been here since last season. He's gotten better at the end of last season, and he's been very intentional about getting better with his technique, and he's become the leader of our room. The players in the DN room voted him the captain, so I think that speaks a lot to how his teammates see him. Wyndon Ho'ohuli, a guy who's a really good natural player, very savvy, instinctual, but he's been, you know, injury plagued the last few years, but now that he's back healthy, he's a guy that with reps is getting a lot better as well. Jackie Johnson, just elite work ethic, elite toughness, extremely competitive with some really good pass rush skills. Love coaching that young man. And a guy that's not talked about a lot, but who really plays a big role on defense is Tariq Jones. He's just Mr. Consistent, always grades out well, very good with play recognition, very smart, and really good at run stopping.
So we got to ask this question because obviously we're going to be all there. 17th ranked team in the country coming into town. Boise State, the Russian attack. That must fuel a defense because, you know, when you play the game, you understand that when you have this offensive juggernaut coming to town, it's going to fuel the defensive side of the ball. They want to stop Genty, obviously, in Boise State. What kind of pride or what kind of conversations are happening in the room right now with this defense?
Yeah, well, I think we have a physical ball club that likes to attack. So when you bring a team in like Boise State who has a really good O-line, you know, good run game, going to give you broad blocking surfaces, it ain't going to be no secret what they're going to do. They're going to hand number 2 the ball and try to run it down your throat. And I think our guys are going to take that challenge and play violent.
All right, Coach, I got a couple of random questions.
Okay, here we go.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. If you're not at practice, what are you doing?
I'm hanging out with my wife at home, probably watching Netflix and cooking some good food.
Okay, speaking of that, what is your favorite TV show?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Ooh, let's go Breaking Bad.
Okay, I got one. Some of these questions are great, by the way. If you could be a wild animal, what would you be?
Is a shark a wild animal?
Shark, yes.
Okay, I'll go with
what
shark.
What kind of shark?
Tiger shark.
A tiger shark,
Yes.
okay. What is your least favorite veggie?
Spinach. That's not a vegetable, is it? Oh, it is, yes.
If there's
Yes.
spinach is
Yes, it is. Yes,
I love spinach, by the way. If you had one word to describe, and this is a random question, this defensive unit, what would it be and why?
Aggressive, because they like to attack and get after it.
Attack and get after. Well, I hope you get after it this weekend. Coach Jordan Pu'u-Robinson,
Yes.
thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Good luck against Boise State. When we come back, John is joined by slot-back receiver Nicholas Cenacle. And don't forget to text your questions in at 808-296-1420. This is the Timmy Chang Show, and we'll be right back.
This is the Timmy Chang Show, presented by ESPN Honolulu, KHI, and KHON2.
All right, welcome back to the Timmy Chang Show. This guy has been in the end zone a few times in the last couple of games. Let's take a look at Nick Cenacle's tail of the tape. It's a good one. The junior out of Montreal, Canada, was rated as the #1 receiver coming out of Canada. The starter has produced 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games. We welcome in Mr. Nicholas Cenacle. Thank you for being here, man. Appreciate it. This is a very appropriate because you have seen the end zone a couple of times now. And you've done a fabulous job. 22 receptions so far on the year, 209 yards. It's 9.5 yards per catch. You feel pretty good about those numbers?
I think they're good, but hopefully get some more touchdowns in there.
Of course, yeah.
For sure. But now they're good. They're good for sure.
Every receiver would like to touch the ball a few more times.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so #1 receiver out of Canada.
Yeah.
And right now, Nick Cenacle's going to sing the Canadian national anthem. Go. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, Nick Cenacle's going to sing the American national anthem. Go. Hawaii Ponui? No.
Nah.
Okay, no, he's not a singer. He doesn't want to sing. But you will sing if you get into the end zone this week.
For sure, yeah. I got you guys.
I like that. You had a couple of nice catches leading up to the last couple of games. Let's just talk about this. So this particular highlight, you climbed the ladder. You didn't come down with it.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice for you to come down. I know. How does that make you feel when you see it?
I hate it. I had it, my fingertips, and coming down, I just felt it slip a bit. I was like, nah, I got to. And I hit the ground, and it is what it is. But these are plays we need. Honestly, these are just plays we have to make to win those type of games. We're just when we talk about a couple plays away to win those type of games against ULA, that was one of them. So yeah,
you're a receiver. Let me ask you this: I'm a former receiver myself. What is it about the drops early on in the season? Like, why was that happening so much? I mean, there's been a couple here and there, and you can blame it on one person or not.
Yeah.
But if it touches your hands, the rule is you got to catch it.
Yeah, and I think it's just just people being eager to just make the play and just convert into something else like more, But you got to start the catch is the first thing, secure the catch, then you go play, you turn on like playmaker mode and start doing extra and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's just like keep your just people trying to do more before you catch the ball. So yeah, that's
I'm going to excite you here real quick because you're a guy who makes plays, and so I put together a couple of highlights for you against Northern Iowa.
Yeah.
Here's your first touchdown against Northern Iowa. I want to just walk me through it real quick. It was a short one.
Yeah,
it's a slant route.
This one was just a short one. We knew that they were gonna play bracket in that game, so we just we knew the guy was gonna switch off and stuff like that. So we just did the short out, and that is it. 1 yard touchdown.
Yeah. It's funny because you started smiling when you saw that. When you saw what was going on there, I like to see that. You get excited about watching yourself get into the end zone. That's good because you know how it feels.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's exciting. The past couple of years I've been playing. I haven't been scoring as much and stuff like that. So, but I've been playing in the work and stuff like that this whole offseason too, for moments like this. To be able to have an impact on this team. So, I'm just happy that it's paying off. Right
you want to smile again?
Yeah, I smile a lot, guys. You guys gonna see it this whole show.
Well, you're gonna have a big grin on this next touchdown.
Oh,
let's see the second touchdown against Northern Iowa because this one, actually, this was the first one. This was just a run. No, let's go to
right.
yeah. So the second touchdown is coming up here in a second. But it was a nice one, and I want you to at least get a chance to look at it. Is this it? We're gonna go. Let's go ahead and see it. No, it's the next one. That was another shot of your first touchdown, and you're still smiling. I love it. Okay, here is your second touchdown. It's a beauty. It's right into the camera, and I even put it in slow motion for you. Walk me through this.
Okay, so this was a simple mesh, So we just saw, you saw the guy was playing man, so we just converted it, and Braden he trusted me and threw it up there, and I just ran under the ball and caught it. So just a good throw, crazy throw by Braden first of all.
Yeah.
And I was just able to run over and catch it. And, didn't know what to do after. So
he celebrated with the student section.
Try to celebrate with the fans after. Get them involved into the game or get their feed off their energy too. So
as good of a catch, I thought it was a perfectly placed football. By Braden.
It was a very good ball. A very good ball.
Okay, you added a go-ahead touchdown this past week against San Diego State, and at that moment, it must have felt really good. We got a highlight of that as well. Just can you walk me through some of this as well? Because at this point, you got spun around and then found an opening.
Yeah, no, I found the hole, sat there. Braden just checked it down to me, and the rest is history. As you see, man, we just the guy just try to arm tackle me and stuff like that. I was able to spin off of that and go into playmaker mode. So yeah, find the end zone.
Nice. So that was the go-ahead touchdown at that point in the fourth quarter. It was a 23-yarder. What do you think is going to be the key this week? Because you're on the offensive side, obviously stopping Ashton Genty on the defense is going to be key. But offensively, it's in my opinion that you got to keep that offense off the field by sustaining drives and getting into the end zone. Your thoughts?
Yeah, we just have to execute. Honestly, the coaches do an amazing job just play calling. We just have to do what we're taught to do in practice, stuff like that, and we do execute at a very high level. And we're gonna beat these guys. Honestly, if we execute, we just have to do our thing. So just do our thing, and we'll be good. I believe.
I think that. Do you feel like you've grown a little bit over the course as an offense as a whole? Because in the start of the season, there was drop passes. There was a bunch of mistakes and penalties. And then I think against Northern Iowa here, we're seeing some of the highlights. You guys started to click a little bit better. Do you feel like the offense, because it's so important in this offense particularly, for a quarterback to mesh well with the receivers?
Yeah, it's important to execute like that, and we executed like that during the fall, spring like that, and that was what our offense looked like during the whole offseason, stuff like that. So we just finally clicked at that game, specifically just clicked, and you guys saw the results of that. So we continue down that path, and we'll be good.
Yeah, there's some bright spots, and again, you're going to have to score more points than Boise. That's the whole key to winning.
Yeah, exactly. You got to score more points than the other team.
Let me ask you this: you're just a junior, back next season.
Yeah.
And where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, hopefully in a league, football, play professional football, and just thriving, playing football. Just living my life as a pro athlete.
Let me tell everybody this though, and if that doesn't work out, you're doing
it.
some good stuff to fall back on.
Yeah.
You're majoring in human development and family studies.
Yeah. So that was the major I went into. Just decided to always was close to family and stuff like that. Every time I'm very people person. I'd say I'd be able to talk to people like that. So if I just thought that going to that major, I'd just be able to capitalize off that aspect of myself. So
my brother, broadcast partner, and my brother Mark didn't burn all the questions, so it is now time for a random question with Nick Cenacle. What is your favorite pizza topping?
Pepperoni, for sure.
Yeah. So do you just go pepperoni and like extra cheese, or do you go double pep?
Pepperoni, just pepperoni. I'm very simple.
Yeah, just easy pepperoni.
Yeah,
okay.
Easy pepperoni.
All right, let's tell everybody real quick that you can text in. We've got some texts. We're going to go ahead and use those texts in our next segment when Coach Timmy Chang and Mark rejoin us. You can text in right now and get those questions in, 808-296-1420. Also want to remind everybody that it's a 5 o'clock kickoff Saturday. That's a little bit earlier than normal, so make sure you plan ahead for that. And if you want to watch this show in its TV broadcast, you can watch it on K-High at 6 p.m. on Thursday and on KHON at 8 p.m. on Friday. Tell everybody this is the Timmy Chang Show in French real quick.
Bienvenue à l'épisode de Timmy Chang.
We'll be right back.
On va être de retour.
This is the Timmy Chang Show, presented by ESPN Honolulu, K-High, and KHON2.
I'll be back with Timmy Chang and my brother, Mark Veneri. So happy to be here at the Stan Sheriff Center today. We're bringing this to you, and don't forget you can text in. And we're going to go to the text now. Coach, you ready for some random fire?
Yes.
Okay. Is Micah Alejado your QB2, and is he redshirting this year?
Yeah, we're trying to redshirt Micah. We redshirted John,
you know, what's happening with those two is that, you know, Braden's the guy, you know, and you know, for me, you know, just personally, when, you know, we're dealing all this NIL and all these other things that are going on in our game today, I'm very loyal to people. And so, like, for going, I stay with Braden because Braden is who I saw when we got here that gave us the best chance to win. And Braden had other options to leave and go, but he stayed and he wanted to be here. You know, he wasn't healthy the first 4 games. You know, so I stay with Braden.
Yeah.
But you know, Micah and John are going to have their day to battle.
Yeah.
And that's coming. And
Yeah.
so for me, we gave John a lot of the second team reps. I saw a lot of good things of Micah happening. And so, you know, I have them both. We have them both rotating in, and so they're doing a great job. And I would love to redshirt Micah if we could.
We saw a lot of criticism early on until the UNI game of Braden Shager, and you know this as a quarterback yourself. The criticism came, and then it went pretty quick because Braden played a pretty good game against. They had to find another way to make an excuse for Braden, but I think he's a fabulous quarterback. You got a question for Coach Mark?
Yes, naturally, Coach, naturally blocking and protecting plays a major role in offense. Do you think a quarterback, since we're speaking of quarterbacks, a quarterback coming from a passing offense in high school has an advantage in your current offense?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think they do. But you know, there's a lot of different things, right? If you know, sometimes quarterbacks don't have a system at where they're at. You know, you go across the country, you go into rural towns where you get what you are, and the coach has been there for 20 years, and this is what they run. You see creative coaches create new offenses based on the kids come into their program. You're seeing now kids transferring all over the place and going and try to fit or try to get recruited at different places. So there's a whole bunch of things and factors to go on. I think it's just the mentality of the kid. Of if he's a passing quarterback, which we love, and he's been throwing, you know, he might not show it and flash in some of the film, but he has a background in throwing. Maybe he's throwing with his father. Maybe he's throwing with clinics and coaches in the area. Like if there's a Vinny Pastis in the area or so, those things, those kind of coaches get you guys better. I would say this: it helps, but there's a lot of tangibles to coaching that to playing the quarterback position. Winning is probably the biggest one, and being a fearless leader and rallying the troops. I think those are the biggest qualities.
This is your opportunity to ask a question for Coach right now. 808-296-1420. We have another question.
You guys should take questions.
Oh, no. You had a question.
I had a question. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you go ahead. You had a follow-up.
Okay, I had a follow-up. All right, Coach.
I was saying that because this guy said we should take questions from listeners, which is exactly
how brothers
what we
work,
do.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you guys fighting on TV right now?
We're going to get talked to, guarantee about this.
By Dad.
By you, yeah. Anyway, Coach, I said this after the game, and we knew criticism comes with the position of playing quarterback.
Yeah.
But I thought, in my personal opinion, and I think John agreed with me on this one, I thought Braden Shager, in the way he handled the football game, especially in the second half, he said, let me take the load, let me carry this team as best as I can to the finish line and try to get us there. I thought personally, since he's played at the University of Hawaii, overall, best game for him.
Yeah, you know, I thought from the standpoint of taking over, that's something that we've seen in the last 4 games of the season last year. He continues to grow. That's why he's in a demand, and people are looking at him at the next level. Is that he has these intangibles. He's a big boy. He has a big arm. He can throw the ball. He makes the reads, and then he has, you know, he uses his legs, and he has a fight and a want to. I mean, some of these plays are stirred down, broken down plays that he's just using his legs. You know, we call design runs at times, especially last year, to get him moving and out of the pocket. So it just adds another element to him. But he wants to win. I mean, he said it on the show after the game as he felt disappointed. Is like, man, he's tired of losing. He wants to win. And so I think just, you know, it comes with the position. But I think we all know that it takes a lot of moving parts. It starts with me. It moves down to our coaching staff and everybody involved in our support staff and everybody around this team. And then it comes down to the players going out there and executing. And that's all positions.
Absolutely. Okay, this question has come through quite a bit. Where was Tylan Hines in the second half of the San Diego State game? Because he performed so well in the first half.
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, we've got a couple backs, and you know, he's in the backfield. He's running the ball. He's returning kicks. You know, I thought for our special teams, if there was a down game, this probably would have been it. with our return game. But he's special. You can see him carrying the ball here. We can get him on into some positions to succeed. And we got to get that guy the ball. I mean, he's special when he has the ball in his hand. And so, we'll do that.
Coach, then kind of following up with that, which type of running back would best fit your offense going forward?
Yeah, Landon the bigger back kind of does it all, for us.
Yeah.
We've said this. He protects the quarterback, which is first and foremost. But also that he adds an element. I mean, he's one of the fastest running backs and fastest big skill guys that we have, and so he does both. But we have other backs in there that can get it done, and so there's only one ball, but there's a good problem to have with some of these backs that we have. I would say this, they can't run on their own, so what's happening is that the O-line's starting to come along a little bit. They've focused on protection and protecting the quarterback, and now the run game is starting to roll a little bit.
There was a question about they want you to diagram the fourth down play against SDSU that ended the drive and ultimately the game. Was that the correct call in your mind? Was it run correct? Was it run correctly or blocked correctly?
Yeah, it wasn't correctly executed. It's one of those things where we not to get into detail because Boise's probably watching this.
They will be.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's one of those things that I go out. I'll think about after the game as we touched on it a little bit earlier. Hey, was it the right call? I'm thinking in my mind, was it the right call that we did that? Hey, should I have kicked the field goal? Was it should I have called a timeout after seeing what they were in and how they leveraged us and all these other different things? And so all those things play through my mind. But obviously, the call is the call. We were trying to do something, and it wasn't executed, so we didn't get the first down.
Thank you for answering questions, and hope that answered some of your questions. And of course, Coach is more than willing to answer it, and as long as it doesn't give away anything.
Right.
We're going to say aloha to my brother Mark, but you can hear him Saturday at 5 as our color analyst. This is the Timmy Chang Show. This is the Timmy Chang Show, presented by ESPN Honolulu, K-High, and KHON2. Welcome back to the Timmy Chang Show. We're going to be broadcasting this TV show on K-High at 6 p.m. on Thursday and at 8 p.m. on KHON2. Coach, just your final thoughts as we end the show.
Well,
headed into one of the big games.
Yeah, it's you're when you're going through it and you're you're 2 plays away from maybe potentially be 4-1. Yeah, it stings. You know what I mean? I've said it. There's so many good things about this job. The worst thing about this job is losing. And like Shiggs, I hate losing. And so, but the guys are working, and we're working, and that's how you get out of these things, man. You just work harder, and you go back to work. And just so happens the best team in the conference is coming into town. And that's where you play your best. That's where you look to play your best. And so I'm excited for the challenge and excited to get them here to Manoa.
Well, you'll be doing it in front of a near sold-out crowd. As of right now, there are very limited tickets available for Saturday's game at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, let's be loud. Let's be loud. Let's feed off that energy. Let's get that confetti in the air. And I know like Nick is saying, like we're close on offense, and you're watching the plays, you're watching these things. You're just waiting for it to just click in all phases. And so if we can do that, put some points up on the board, our defense do what they have to do, and you talked about all the good things they do, and our special teams get back on track, then it should be a really competitive game.
This texter says, Boise State is our new BYU. Protect our house. Who was your rival when you played?
Man, Fresno was a good rival, but they're all.
It was BYU for me.
Yeah, that was good times. That was good times. Yeah.
My friend, good luck this weekend. Happy birthday. I hope that you can enjoy the rest of it. Obviously, October 9th. So happy birthday, my friend.
No, thank you. I enjoyed. I enjoyed being here and working with great people and my guys. And then I get to go home and spend it with my beautiful family. And so thank you. I thank you for making it special.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And thank you for bringing the show to the Stand Sheriff. And I love you, Rick and Ruby Tuesday. But it's really a joy for me to be here and able to coach you guys.
Absolutely. Go Bows. Don't forget, kickoff 5 o'clock. Bring your loud voice and your cheers, and we'll be cheering on the Bows to victory against the 17th-ranked Boise State Broncos this weekend. Want to thank all our sponsors. Aloha.